So yes, we think this is the greatest place of the entire coast-to-coast tour.
We're biased. Nowhere else in the country.
Longest stop on their tour.
A full circle moment.
Dumb luck. They're about Ranger tall.
We hope it comes back. You made history.
Yeah, we literally made history. I'd say the first thing I thought was dumb luck. So back in September, we decided to actually relocate the 4012 from the south side of the parking lot to where it sits right now on the north side of the parking lot on our display track. I would see the big boy every day when I came into work and think, man, I wish more people spent more time around this. And as I looked through the park, people would see it when they came in, but then they'd park, they'd go into the museum complex, and they wouldn't necessarily make their way out to the big boy all the time. So we moved it where it was kind of up close and personal, which then just led to the fact that the 4014 could pull in right next to it, right? So that crazy idea that I had of let's move the big boy to the other side of the parking lot just kind of paid off in the fact that, you know, this is the only place in the country where you'll see two big boys sitting side by side. Steamtown's grand opening in 1995, they saw about 30,000 people over 4 days, and it was a holiday weekend. It was a July 4th weekend. We saw 30,000 people in a day. Further perspective, in 2025, Steamtown's total annual visitation was 60,844. We did 65,000 in the first 6 days of the big boy being here.
A little bit of a full circle moment for me. So my career with Steamtown started with our big boy coming out from cosmetic restoration in 2021. That was 1 week into my job here. And I also grew up in upstate New York. So these were manufactured in Scranton, New York, about 25 minutes from where I grew up. So kind of a culmination of those, and I've learned to appreciate trains being here at Steamtown, and I've learned a lot about the big boy, and it ties to the founding of the country with railroading, and just the kind of massive industrialization and progress that this country has made over time. So to see it come here and experience it in person is nothing I could ever kind of anticipate happening in my career. I never thought I'd be excited about it, but here we are today.
This is just a huge boon for Steamtown. It's the opportunity for us to show people this amazing resource that the National Park Service has, which is kind of what I'll say is the hidden gem of the National Park Service, or was the hidden gem of the National Park Service until June the 15th.
We can't do this without other national parks. So we had probably 35 or 40.
We had at least 40, probably closing in on 50 rangers and other support staff from other national parks, literally around the country.
And then of course our volunteers. Last year we had probably about 13,000 or so volunteer hours over the course of the entire year. Just for this event alone, 17 days, we'll probably see about 75 to 80 volunteers involved in this, and around 2,000 volunteer hours. They're doing routine maintenance, so they'll do a boiler wash, greasing it up, making sure it's ready for next leg on Philadelphia. So every so many operating hours and miles, the crews will have to kind of take things apart and just do kind of routine stuff. We do it here in our shop as well, so steam locomotives in general.
For me, it's the reinvigorating of the staff here at Steamtown, to see those big smiles on their faces, to see them get to share our mission of preserving railroading history in America, live steam railroading, right here in Scranton, Pennsylvania, right here in Northeast Pennsylvania, where you could argue that, you know, the railroads grew up, right? We helped build the country from this part of Pennsylvania, and being able to share that with so many people. We'll probably crest 100,000 visitors during the 17 days that the big boy is here. So we're sharing that with people who never knew that it existed. So getting to see our staff energized, getting to see our staff getting to live out what, you know, the reason they joined the National Park Service, which was to share our history. It's amazing for me. It's great to lead everybody.
For me, kind of reinvigorating why I got into this job in the first place, just the connection with people that have come from all over the country and all over the world just to see this opportunity that we get to see every day. you know, my family worked in the railroad, my nephews still work in the railroad, so there's a lot of that familial connection, and just being to talk with people and hear what their stories are have been rewarding and enlightening and reinvigorating.
We're working on some exciting things in 2026 and into 2027. Now that we've brought in the largest operational steam locomotive, any steam locomotive can come to Steamtown, right? Because we've proven that if this can fit, anything can fit. Normally, our big annual event is Railfest, which is every Labor Day weekend. And we will be bringing in some visiting equipment. We're still working with owners and operators of the visiting equipment. I mean, I just want to thank all the people that came out. I mean,
You made history.
yeah, we literally made history. Yeah, you know, here we are in our 250th year and still getting to celebrate that American innovation, that American ingenuity, industrialization. It's just an amazing opportunity to share this with the American people.
Controls down at 1660 north. Remove them. Right, dropping her down. 325 NS Bailey. Request permission here for 4945 between HA 669.0.554 mile. That's correct. I'll take your lock off, my lock off, and you can do what you gotta do there.
Yep.
Look where you started!
They're about Ranger tall.
Ranger tall.
They're about that tall.
Back in the late 1940s and early 1950s, worked on the railroad in Tamaqua. He was a mechanic on the trains. We
Yeah.
used to go out there to visit him and get in the cab and everything.
Yeah,
on the
this one's a little bit bigger, huh?
Quite a bit. Just glad we finally found it. Oh.
Oh, well, we appreciate you guys making the trip out to visit.